Welcome to Nifty Novelist. Today's writing tip, we'll be discussing element number 2 of the 4 writing elements, action, description, dialogue, and narration. Number 2 is description. Now, this is my greatest strength as a writer, but it is also my greatest weakness as a writer too. That's because the good news is I have absolutely no problem with me being descriptive. But the bad news is I have absolutely no problem with me being descriptive. It once took me 3 pages to describe a chair, and 6 pages to describe a desk, and 9 pages to describe a door. And your use of description is like a literary manure you use for fertilizing your own plants, which in this particular case are your own books. Too little and nothing grows at all. Too much and it kills the plants entirely, which really stinks. The right amount and the plants grow very tall, very beautifully, very abundantly, and very healthily. And now describe your scene using all 5 of the senses. Let your readers see, hear, smell, taste, and feel your book's whole entire scene as if they themselves are actually living through it. As long as your readers feel like they are the ones truly experiencing the scene for themselves for real, you know you'll have the right amount of description. And that's today's writing tip, element number 2 of the writing elements out of action, description, dialogue, and narration. This is description. Today we'll be discussing knowing when to end things. Now, Jerry Seinfeld turned down over $100 million, over $5 million per episode to do just one more season of his show Seinfeld. This was literally the most lucrative TV show offer in the history of the world. Most people thought he was absolutely nuts for doing so. However, I am not most people. Why do I personally totally agree 100% with Jerry Seinfeld's decision? Jerry Seinfeld wanted to go out on a high note while his show was still really good and while his show was still really funny, and not let it drag on to where it would be no longer still funny at all anymore. And as a writer, it is also extremely important for you to always know when it is clearly time for you to bring either a character or a scene or a book or a multi-sequel series of books to an end before it ever finally gets stale, dull, and lackluster. Some aspects of your books, particularly your various different characters, are always really hard for you to finally and fully let go of. Your characters are all part of yourself, and they're all part of your personal creations that you personally came up with. And so when you cease using a character, it is literally just exactly like you are bringing a part of yourself to an end as well. And it's like saying goodbye to a really good friend, or like permanently closing off a part of yourself that was really fun for a long time, but now it's time to end it. So the same concept also applies to any of your multi-sequel book series as a whole as well. But if you truly do love your characters and your multi-sequel book series, then you absolutely must finally bring them to an eventual and permanent end at some point. While they are still really good, and while both you and also your fans as well still really love them, and before they get boring. Just like Kelly Clarkson sang in one of her own songs titled Already Gone, "You know that I love you so, I love you enough to let you go." And just like there's a quote in the movie Blown Away, where there's 2 people talking about wanting to get out of a bomb squad. They're both the bomb squad tactician people, and one of them says to the other one, "When did you know it was time for you to get out?" And the other one says, "I think I knew it was time when I started asking myself if I thought it was time." You may wonder, like, what do I do now that I've ended this character, or ended this book, or ended this book series that my fans really enjoyed and really loved? What do I do now? And consider what this exchange of dialogue from the TV series called Lost advises us to do. There's a character called Desmond, and he used to be a monk, and he found out from the monk that he was not cut out to be a monk, and so he asked the monk, "What do I do now?" and the monk says, whatever comes next. And that's what you need to also do in your own creative writing endeavors, is whenever you finish something, if you're wondering what to do now, just do whatever comes next, and always come up with new ideas and new fresh situations for your characters and your books to go through and evolve and adapt to the new changing situation of whatever you want to do next. And so your characters and your books will not get stale, and your fans will still enjoy all of your books, and you'll still enjoy all of your books too. And that's today's tip on knowing when to end things. And now, time for the Word Treasure Challenge, where I draw a random word out of this box and make up a story on the spot. And today's random word is joy. There was once a character named Joy that was just like her name. She liked to experience lots of joy, but one day she changed her name to Jolinda. And then in changing her name, she suddenly found out that she somehow changed her emotions, and now she could no longer be joyful, and she was like, whoa, I'm not joyful anymore. What do I do? And then she changed her name to Joy, but that didn't work because it was never the changing of her name that did the trick. It was the fact that she didn't have enough Jesus in her life, and then she went to the Bible and she looked up the scriptures, and it says that Jesus brings joy to everyone, and she's like, wow, I gotta try this prayer thing and see if Jesus really is joyful and is capable of bringing me joy as he says that he can in the Bible. And then she prayed to Jesus, and she said, dear Lord Jesus, please bring me lots of joy. And then Jesus says, yes, I will do it, because in the Bible I say that I always do what I say I'm going to do, and so you have asked me and you shall receive, and now you will receive the joy of Jesus Christ. And that's today's story from a box. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.